Having having technical difficulties, guys. Are we still streaming or? So what's this going to do to our? We're going to have to do two different videos. Oh, we are recording. Okay. Okay. So we're recording still, but our stream stops. So we're not live streaming right now, but we're going to have to start streaming again. Can we play it now, or what are we doing? Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and play it. Guys, I'm sorry for the choppiness of this, but this information is very important. Don't stop watching. You need to hear what this guy is saying because this is very, very important. He reveals exactly where this resource, where this technology comes from. Go ahead. Hit play.
2 years ago, I was approached by somebody who presented himself to me as a stranger. Today, I know that that was no coincidence. We had some conversations anywhere from the fundamental nature of the universe to extraterrestrial life to fascinating things. Over time, as our relationship grew stronger, he revealed more and more information to me. And there came a point where he revealed his affiliation to a specific organization that has been in existence for thousands of years. And that's why I'm making this video today. The organization has decided, after a very long existence, to finally reveal themselves for who they are, what they do, and their purpose of existing in the first place. I want to start by saying that I am not a part of the organization. I am not initiated into the organization. I have just been approached, prepared, and chosen as a specific messenger of information by this organization. The name of the organization is TLS. TLS stands for the Light System.
I broke it into 2 clips in case you wanted to talk.
Okay. Let me see the microphone.
They're still catching up. Now, this one tells who is in all.
Okay, so this guy was approached by this organization. This next video, my wife did it in 2 videos, and we did just this on the fly. I mean, we had to do all this morning. So he's going to explain exactly who is in the TLS, the light system.
The name of the organization is TLS. TLS stands for the Light System. They've been around for thousands of years, and they do very divine work. They're made of roughly 7,000 initiated agents around the world, some of which are very well-known people in the world today, whether it's in politics, the government, media, celebrities, producers, and so on. And some not well-known people in the world that work in the organization. The organization, TLS, has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with race or age or gender. They are made of all religions and all races and all ages and all genders. When I say all ages, I'm talking about very old ages as well, older than may seem possible. And when I say all races, I'm talking about races that are not just part of humankind. We are not here alone. There are and there is other life among us, and they're not here to hurt us. They're not here to invade us. They're here to help us, and they're here to guide us and help elevate us to a higher level of consciousness and awareness.
Was that still clip 1? Okay. Okay. All right, so that was the second clip. And they're very old, and they're not all of this world. They're demons. There are no extraterrestrials. Let me tell you that, guys. There's no such thing as life on other planets. Yahweh says that I will do nothing unless I reveal it to my servants, the prophets. He wouldn't go and destroy Sodom and Gomorrah until he told Abraham what he was going to do. There is no life on any other planets. He would have told us. We are his covenant partners. We are created in his image. We are one spirit with the Creator. He would share that information if we were ever going to run into anything that he created somewhere else. He would let us know. And he didn't, because there's not life on other planets. There are demons. There are the principalities and the powers of the air, the rulers of the darkness in this spiritual realm. This is who aliens are. Now, you talk about grays and greens and all these other things. There's a lot of sightings of these supposed aliens. With the technology these guys have, they could be making their own Earth suits. I mean, I don't know for sure, but that's a real possibility. If you make your own Earth suit and you inhabit it so you can interact in this realm, who's going to try to cast the demon out of a gray? They're going to look like a different life form. It's smoke and mirrors. It's camouflage. They're hiding in the shadows. They don't want you to know exactly who they are or what they're doing. But anyway, let's watch another clip. Okay, this is the lady, this guy that we just watched. He's interviewing this doctor. This is the doctor that came up with this healing technology. And the stream is messing up again. I don't know what's going on with our internet, but Satan doesn't want this out there. That's what it is. But let's go ahead and keep recording, and then we can get it up later. Is it not coming over? I can do that. Let's just go ahead and do this if we need to. Oh. I don't know what happened to your mic stand, but somebody unscrewed it. See if we can get this going. We'll just do the other one on the other speaker, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to put my main mic over by this speaker. Okay, let's go ahead. It's going to feedback, though, possibly, so let's try it from here now.
Michaels, it's an honor to be sitting here with you today. A very, very interesting chain of events has caused this interview to come to fruition in the first place, all surrounding a technology that you've developed that many call medbed technology, because that's really what it emulates in its essence of how it works and what I would call the miracles that it's allowed to come to fruition on many people all around the world. It's a technology that I've seen firsthand dissolve a 12.5-inch cystic fibroid in my aunt's uterus, a technology that has caused TLS to actually encourage me to come and help raise awareness to this incredible healing modality that you've created, but also to help figure out a way to make it more accessible around the world. And what's interesting is that you're actually the first person that I know of that TLS has accepted and agreed to associate with publicly without hiding your identity, which is a very big deal, and I'm sure that it's all for good reason, especially with what I call technology. I know you have a different way of speaking about it, but it is an incredible technology that I know I am sitting here for a very good reason to help bring out to the world so we can help make more accessible.
Want it to go out to the world. That is their goal. And it's spreading. There's 2 of them in Oklahoma now. I don't know about worldwide. The first one, like I said, that this lady sold, the first 24-panel unit.
Because my is with the body and tracking.
It was actually sold to the Rothschilds. They bought the first one. Yeah, the first unit that she actually sold for private installation. You can buy one of these units. You can get a 4-panel unit for your own home for $15,000. This is a 24-panel unit that she sold for the Rothschilds. That was the first unit she sold, was to one of the Rothschilds, the ones that controls the world money. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with them, but you should be if you know anything about what's going on. Yep.
guys, we're experiencing most of our problems. We're discovering that the light panels on the video, they go to the left, right side when she's talking, and they're in the middle when you see them both together. Don't look at them if you can, but they're causing some issues with the live stream.
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
things cell by cell through the body, and the body has consciousness. Because my mastery is with the body and tracking things cell by cell through the body, and the body has consciousness. And the DNA, specifically working with the DNA and the codes of the DNA and the memory and the cell memory, but the DNA. And the DNA is biophotonic. We are bodies of light. In fact, my original work was under body of light, and that's a federal trademark, copyright, etc., from way back to
Now for the next clip. Scorpio eclipse, obviously New Age garbage.
ask and you shall receive is a law. And so I was asking, okay, now how do we bring healing to the world? There's only so many people I could personally teach or touch or train. How do we bring healing to the world? And even more specifically, how do we create the quantum leaps of consciousness for accelerated evolution,
Yes.
for a new heaven and a new earth through us?
She quotes
and
scripture.
it
She
was a
tries to make it look
download of
godly.
Instruction to program technology to emulate my work. As I was already
Yeah, she quotes a number of scriptures through this interview.
and it was a download of instruction to program technology to emulate my work. As I was already recognized as top healer, people flew me everywhere.
She's a top healer. This is the one that wants to watch over your soul with her new technology. We were trying to have this all loaded and ready for you, but like I said, we were just doing this all this morning, so.
I was already recognized as top healer. People flew me everywhere, flew in from everywhere. I'd be booked 40 hours straight with sessions, waiting lists of people, because anything and everything would heal. Because the body wants to function perfectly. You know, so I used to say I'm like jumper cables. So that's what we created, kind of jumper cables to the body. But we're like jumper cables for, you know, that spark of life, that optimal, you know, light force, literally light force, life force, energy to flow through us and to touch the hearts of every cell, to touch the, you know, because when you activate that light within you, it reminds you who you are, all that you're here for, all that you have access to. And so it's spiritual science. And yes, I can go right down all the rabbit holes of all the actual physics and biophysics and quantum physics and nuclear physics. And, you know, so I have all that background and the medical side. And I'm recognized as a doctor of natural medicine besides a biophysicist. You know, and like I said, Mensa, our brains are a little bit different, you know, so I can go right down into all the science, but it's really spiritual. And so I was asked to create this technology to create that quantum leap of consciousness to bypass some of the projected realities. How do we create
We were trying to do it so that we didn't actually have YouTube clips in our YouTube videos, so that they
call
didn't black it
forth all
out for
that.
copyright infringements or whatever. So we were trying to do separate clips. I don't know how it's going to work out, but anyway, we can get you guys the links if you want to watch these videos in
Wisdom,
full.
rather
Go ahead.
than being stuck in any old patterns or programs of old genetic damage even that's been held in the DNA or in the cell memory. How do we call forth the wisdom of all that and be present now, you know, as the fully realized Christed conscious beings to walk the planet in total balance?
Lots of pretty language that we're all supposed to be one, all one religion, all one people, all one race, whether you're demon or human. That's what they're after. Yeah, Christed people. Science Christed. So it's the anointed science is what she's trying to say, and we're all supposed to be one. Kumbaya, no thank you.
So, first of all, I love the fact that you bring it all back to the spiritual core of everything, because that's really what everything kind of emerges out of.
It
I
does
think one of the main
indeed.
problems with medicine today, and even science today, and the way that we're applying it, is we're only focused on the physical, and people forget that spirit world and the intangible roots that everything emerges from. So I appreciate the fact that you bring that, and I think that that's why this technology came to fruition, because you connected to, I mean, call it the wisdom of the ancestors, to source, to
Wisdom of
lights, you know,
demons is
everybody
what
has
he's
a different
saying.
name for it, to God.
Like we just read in Enoch. Keep going. Oh, okay.
I just tried to do clips out of this giant video that were the pertinent languages that showed you that they're not about God and God's ways.
Not God's spirit. They are about spirits, but it is not Yahweh's spirit. These are different spirits. These were the fallen angel spirits that are bringing this technology to men again. Now, they're not having relations with women, so they're not going to be bound up. They're a little more careful now, but they're still trying to corrupt the whole human race.
Vision improvement, which is one of the things we hear the most, is vision improvement
Wow.
at every level. You know, because it's decalcifying the pineal gland, etc., and that ultimate, you know, meditational states. So people see things, they hear things, they get their you know, the clearer the questions, the clearer the answers.
These are called spirit guides you're contacting. This is not Yahweh technology, guys. This is from the devil. Even though it might heal your tumors, burning in hell for all eternity is not worth it, believe me.
Let yourself know whatever there is to know, the knowing of which allows all things to be totally clear as issues in your body, your life, your relationships, your family, your community, our whole world now. So that's part of, you know, that going into that, when you know, you know. It's going beyond belief or theoretical, intellectual. This is about embodiment. When you know, you know.
Embodiment by spirits that want to know you. It all ties together, though.
And I can say unequivocally, we have everything to heal and fix and cure. Everything.
Absolutely.
But
They can heal and fix everything is what they're saying. They've had success with everything. This, who would not want this technology? Those that realize where it comes from.
That clip, she was going into how they can heal the land, they can heal the waters. She went into the Fukushima, she went into 5G radiation and how the Fukushima stuff is an extinction level event in and of itself. She and the other scientists know it, but this technology can heal that. And they're doing it with people. They're going into, we can heal. We, people, as our technology, this thing can heal and fix everything, i.e. who needs God.
It's basically The devil causing all this garbage in our world and then giving a solution if you'll bow down before him is basically what it is. But it's really an end run around seeking Yahweh, because Yahweh Rapha is our healer. The devil doesn't want you going to Yahweh Rapha. He wants to give you an alternate that will fix your problems without you having to be disciplined and without you having to diligently seek him, because that's how you take a hold of things, by faith. You have to be disciplined and you have to kill your flesh. And this is a way to get healing without having to do that stuff. And that's why it's so appealing to most, because walking in the ways of Yahweh is not easy. It takes discipline. It's not easy. Go ahead, guys.
Protect from it. Well, protection from radiation, protection from 5G doesn't work. Protection from, as a principle, doesn't work. Because the more you protect from, the more there is to protect from. Whatever you focus on expands, and all that creates is more fancy victim, because the more there is to protect from.
It's a very strong statement and a very true statement that you said, and I want to expand on that for a second for everybody that's watching. Of what you focus on is what you're making stronger, and just restating what you said in a different way, because it's very true. If you're protecting from something, in a way you're even resisting that something, because you're strengthening it by saying, I have to protect more and more and more from this thing. You're giving it more power, therefore it has more
Giving
power.
it power
you.
over.
Exactly. And I just wanted to highlight that, because
It's really an important principle, and that's why I say focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important. We have to create what we want, you know, for our life and our world. We have to be the ones we've been waiting for.
Next clip.
And then there's just recliners
Halfway
and
through.
things. And so it runs 24/7 because it's the energy going through the planet, like Tesla's work, right? It's like Tesla's. And it's each system that goes in expands the fields exponentially so that all supports. It's a really unique. So it runs 24/7, and all you have to do is put people in or let people come in and take a power nap. Because how it really works to recharge, it's kind of like when you're recharging your cell phone. As long as the eyes are open, 80% of the body's energy is being externalized to deal with the, environment. When you close your eyes and go to, all healing is in delta and theta brain states. That's where the repair, rejuvenation, regeneration is. Literally regeneration. You want to close the eyes, go to those deep states, do your meditation, focus on what you want.
Meditation. She's not talking about biblical meditation. This is transcendental meditation type stuff, so you can open yourself up to the demonic.
And think about it. If one's out, it creates a wobble in the, a distortion or a wobble in the field. And if it's out too much, it's like a tilt-a-whirl. That's what's unique about these is 4 units internally that are precisely aligned, and then this creates like a photon fountain going out. So
it's interesting, because as I look at you, I see there's like I see in my peripheral vision where what I see right now on the side is not what I see when I look straight at it. I see different lights on the screen when I look at you in my peripheral than I do when I look this way. I actually see patterns on the screen right now as I'm looking at you in my peripheral. It's very interesting. It's like what's embedded within that you can't necessarily see right off the bat, but it's coming at you through that form of light.
yeah, it's interesting.
It does the job from the root. It bridges the physical world and the spirit world. And it brings all that together in that, what you call the unified field. It's a win-win-win for everybody.
It's an
in the
energy
equation.
spa.
Yeah.
where you can regenerate.
I want to ask you a question when it comes to something we said in the beginning of this interview, which really piqued my interest when it comes to this technology, healing modality. You as an individual, your history, your work, you mentioned to me when we first started talking, and I didn't know about this before, that TLS approached you sometime around 2011.
Right.
Can you share a little bit more about that? I know that there's a connection between this, you, and the organization. I want to understand from your perspective, from your experience with whatever you're comfortable with sharing, what was your experience with that encounter? How long did it last? What was your reaction, response? Give us a story here.
Well, it was interesting conversations initially, and basically it was about I was doing all the work. And I said, but I couldn't possibly do any more work than what I'm doing already. And they said, don't worry about it, just know that you're part of. And when it's time, you'll know more, and it'll be brought forward more. But that.
So she's definitely part of their plan and agenda. She's playing right into their hands, whether they specifically commissioned her to do this or not. It's what they want.
Well, it was interesting conversations initially, and basically it was about I was doing all the work. And I said, but I couldn't possibly do any more work than what I'm doing already. And they said, don't worry about it, just know that you're part of. And when it's time, you'll know more, and it'll be brought forward more. But that initial contact was July 11th, which is interesting, of 2011. So
About 11 years ago.
when I go back to looking at the initial invitation and being brought into that and talking about transduction, being recognized as a transducer in that system.
Which is interesting because I don't know if there's a connection between that and this, but for example, in the most recent disclosure interview, Disclosure 3, there was a method that Ray actually shared called transducing. It's spelt differently. It's done for certain purposes of being able to, for positive purposes, manipulate certain situations in order for them to get through certain things. Usually on the dark side of the equation with the dark people that they have to neutralize in certain situations.
Yeah, the dark people are probably Yahweh's people.
When we were doing, it was, what is it called? We were given an award by the Chinese Qigong Grand Masters, by the International
Qigong is demonic as well.
World
So is
Qigong
Reiki
Conference.
healing. Anything that
So
is
I
not
met
what
him
Yeshua
at a
did
World
is
Qigong
demonic.
Conference where we were given an award for producing the Qi technology, because this regenerates the source Qi and the Wan Qi. And it was the first time in the history of the world that Chinese Qigong Grand Masters had given an award for a technology. With the Shaolin. He's very highly trained in Shaolin techniques, etc., and very, very special, very conscious being. And we recognized each other, and we both have been recognized as fulfillment of certain prophecies. And I had actually, years before that, had somebody sent from the Philippines to find me, and had validated, just like you checked and validated who I am. They came to and validated and said that I was part of the release of the gold from the tunnels in the Philippines, etc.
Very evil stuff, if you understand what Satan's agenda is.
So many years ago. I mean, and I think that was I mean, that was many, many years ago. And that was before I met Humphrey, and so we had that immediate connection with the projects for, this, what my guidance has called the great transference of wealth.
What is Humphrey's profession, position? Who is he exactly? What does he do in the world?
Oh, geez. That's a good question. He's been off doing filming and stuff. Bringing forward awareness, but actually wanting to organize people into leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was kind of his focus now, and that's part of what we'll be doing. That's what the councilship that I was invited to be part of is more of a councilship of and leadership of bringing people together to create the new. It's like there's a destructuring of the old systems. We've got to create the new systems. You can't even begin to fix
Part of the cabal.
how broken the old systems have been. And to fix how broken the old systems have been. So we've got to create the new systems of community, of life in abundance. We have everything to heal everything, a new heaven and a new earth through us. Let's create heaven on
New
earth,
heaven and
1,000
earth
years
through
of
us.
peace.
Not quite what Yahweh's
all
planning.
that kind of prophecy.
Through us. Satan wants to be
Right,
like
Chandler,
God.
you want me to do what? Because it was a whole download of what was to be done. And part of it was to recreate the recalibration chambers that were on the ships.
Okay. What'd you do with that?
Because it's for putting the DNA back when you go through hyperspace or go to different planets or do different
She's working for
missions
the
or assignments
aliens.
or whatever. How do you put everything back in its original divine matrix, so to speak? That's what
Alien
the recalibration
technology,
chambers
people.
are for.
Have
Be
you ever
warned.
worked on that?
They're after your
Yeah.
soul.
Big picture. There's two questions. How can I support your work to help further expand on it and reach more people? And what can all of us do together to help support this and get this out to the world?
Awareness is power. But the only thing beyond love is more fully shared love. That's
Different
what we're
definition of
being
love than
called
what
to
Yahweh
do.
has, guys. Just like
it was divide
Christianity.
and conquer. We have to come together, unified field of consciousness. We have to be the greater community, and we have to share. Let's get on with it. We have access to unlimited power, infinite intelligence, unconditional love, should we choose to accept it. And I talk about it's time to quit just sitting on your access. Okay, and access that power, allow that power to rise up from within you. Spinal column is meant to be that standing column or wave or a pillar of light.
New Age garbage. Definitely different spirits than what Yahweh wants us to walk in. This is how slick the enemy works.
Responsibility. Responsibility, to share. Let's get it everywhere as fast as possible.
This is their goal.
The only thing I'm going to ask of everybody, and I'm going to actually
2 of them in Oklahoma so far. One 8-panel, one 24-panel.
Beautiful. So I understand, which is obvious at this point, the level of protection.
Yeah, this is the, she's protected. He's asking her, why aren't you being whacked like all these other naturopathic doctors that are actually looking at the medicines that Yahweh created? Because she's working for the other side. She's got generals and all kinds of army people protecting her so that she's not whacked. Because Big Pharma probably doesn't like this stuff, but the devil, he's playing both ends of it is what it is. So anyway, TLS is protecting her, I guess. All the beings, which includes generals and army people and aliens and whatever. So go ahead.
Beautiful. So I understand, which is obvious at this point, the level of protection that you have on your life, on everything that you're building, on what you're doing. How do we ensure that this remains protected when you're no longer here?
Well, it can't stop. It's like a snowball. The Great Awakening will not be stopped. I have been promised that. I was also promised a few things coming in.
Just like the devil.
And I'm here to teach kind of physics.
Promise you the world, only for your soul. Satan's playing for keeps, guys. There's stuff out there that looks good, and we have got to be cautious. If it were possible, even the very elect will be deceived. This is basically just, again,
The name of the organization is TLS. TLS stands for the Light System. They've been around for thousands of years, and they do very divine work. They're made of roughly 7,000 initiated agents around the world, some of which are very well-known people in the world today, whether it's in politics, the government, media, celebrities, producers, and so on. And some not well-known people in the world that work in the organization. The organization, TLS, has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with race or age or gender. They are made of all religions and all races and all ages and all genders. When I say all ages, I'm talking about very old ages as well, older than may seem possible. And when I say all races, I'm talking about races that are not just part of humankind. We are not here alone. There are and there is other life among us, and they're not here to hurt us. They're not here to invade us. They're here to help us, and they're here to guide us and help elevate us to a higher level of consciousness and awareness. TLS has possession of incredible technology, some of which completely defies the laws of physics as we know them today. They're not an organization that's limited to the speed of light, because they can and they do transcend the dimensions of time and space. They're a powerful organization, and they're here to help us. Their ultimate purpose of being in existence and of everything that they do is to help assist and guide humanity in reaching a higher level of awareness and consciousness.
well, Satan is well organized. He's had a plan for years, and he is unveiling it now without shame. He's trying to come off and look righteous, but we know he's not. He wants to destroy every one of us because we're all created in the image and likeness of Yahweh. And Yahweh is revealing his plan to those with eyes to see and ears to hear. And we have to share this with everybody. Satan is trying to kill everybody. Yahweh doesn't want to lose one. We need to work with Yahweh. We need to get the information out. We need to be praying for people big time because Satan is trying to deceive the world. Anyway, let's close with a word of prayer. Father, we thank you that we are your people, Israel. You have made us a kingdom of priests, and we know that greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. If God be for us, who can be against us? Father, I thank you for the blessing on your people, Israel. Yivarechecha Yahweh, vayishmerecha. Ya'er Yahweh panav elecha, v'hunecha. Yisa Yahweh panav elecha, vayasim lecha shalom. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May Yahweh lift up his countenance towards you and give you his peace, his shalom. In the name of Yeshua our Messiah. Where sin abounds, grace does much more abound. Go with Yahweh.